Hello, this is wmpyr. Today I want to make a video about some of the mistakes that I found when a student came in a few days ago. So I'm hoping that they could help you guys out as well. So don't be afraid of your mistakes. They're a good thing. When we find mistakes, we can improve upon it, and we want to. So it's not a bad thing. Okay, so first thing is single stick. And we're just going to go diagonal down and diagonal down. So it's a 1 and a 2. A 1 and a 2. Very basic movement. And when I teach this to you all, I tell you guys to focus on where you start, which is right here, and where you end. How to park your weapon. This becomes really important when you go to bladed weapons and stuff. If you're used to parking it properly, then you're going to be okay, even if this is a double-edged whatever, because you've been parking it properly. If you're not and you just bring your arm, then it's kind of scary. Who knows, you might cut yourself. So starting position and ending position for every technique that you do is important. Now, we go 1, and then for number 2, starting position and ending position. Starting position for number 1, ending position. So that's important. However, now, when you go to partner drills, where you start drilling with a partner, or you start hitting something like this, like a stick man, okay, it becomes continuous. So you go 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, okay? So when you start doing it like that, things change a little bit. And how does it change? Well, starting position, and I go number 1, and I pass through my ending position, and I go to my second starting position immediately, and I go through the ending position. So basically 1, 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So what's happening here is it's almost like you ignore the ending position and you only focus on the starting positions. So it goes 1 and 2. This makes it smoother, and it's just, it's a different kind of practice. So please keep that in mind. Another thing that was happening was number 1 and number 2. The number 1 came from over here. Okay, so it was coming like this, and then the number 2 was fine, and then the number 1 came from over here. So to you guys right here, the number 2 is fine the way it should be, and then the number 1 was kind of like this. And then here's the number 2, and the number 1 was over here, rather than the number 1 being here. You see that? Number 2, number 1, number 2, number 1. It was number 2, number 1, number 2, number 1. So if you could see the difference, it was here instead of here. So that was one of the things that we had to do, because the sideways movement, I think in the beginning, is easier to learn. It's a lot more natural for us to do side to side rather than this kind of diagonal motion, especially more vertical type motion. So please keep that in mind. So you should be able to control that, if it's going to be sideways, or if it's going to be more vertical, or if it's going to be diagonal. And diagonal is a very powerful tool, because for people that are not used to it, the brain can kind of get confused. If something's coming straight down at you, a lot of people instinctively, oh, okay, I just move out of the way. If something's coming sideways, okay, I gotta block it, okay? Or if something's coming diagonal, you go, whoa, what do I do? So it can be a very powerful tool. So please make sure you add that diagonal strike in there. So next, let's go to double stick, and it's heaven 6 starting position. So this is the arm weaving. It's part of the arm weaving family. So the most staple move is the heaven 6. And so we're going 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the student was going 1, 2, and 3 was fine. 4, 5, and then number 6, which is the equivalent of number 3, but it's done on to the other side. This number 6 properly would be here, right? But what the person was doing this, okay? It's not technically wrong, but for a beginner, you can get confused, especially if you're making contact. So you make contact right here, and then you got both arms kind of like this, and you're going, which arm goes next? So that can happen. So to avoid that kind of confusion, it's better to just keep, for number 6 and also number 3, it's on the same side, goes from top to the bottom of the same side. So I'm just going from here to down there, but it's on the right side. So for number 3 over here, it would be from here to here. Keep it on this side, okay? So one more time, like this, number 1 all the way, number 2 all the way, and then number 3 goes from top to bottom, like this, okay? And then 4, 5, and then 6, same thing, top to bottom. That's your number 6, okay? So just be careful. If you start going 1, 2, and then you go 3 this way, it can get confusing, okay? Especially when you make contact with something. Then you go, whoa, what's going on? So you got to think, immediately bring it back. If not, it's just easier if you go like this. 4, 5, and then here's your number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And once again, sideways is easier to do, but then you want to change it back to the diagonal. Okay, so right now, 1, 2, and then 3, 4 sideways, 5 sideways, and then 6 is vertical. Okay, 1 sideways, 2 sideways, and then 3 is vertical. 4, 5, both of those sideways, and then your number 6 is vertical. So now we want to change it to diagonal. So it'll be number 1 is a diagonal, number 2 is a diagonal, and then 3 can be a vertical again. And then 4 is a diagonal, 5 is a diagonal, and then 6, let's keep it vertical for now. Okay, so anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.